Okay, so I told you about Kij Johnson's new book, The Privilege of the Happy Ending. I posted about it. And I just did an event with Kij. Kij is a mentor of mine from the University of Kansas. Such a phenomenal writer. Her sentences frustrate me. They're so beautiful, so consistently perfect and unexpected and amazing. And just to convince you that this is true and that you need to read her new book, I'm going to read you a little bit of one of my favorite stories. There's so many amazing stories in here, but one of my favorites is this little piece called Mantis Wives. And it's basically, I said this to Kij the other night at her event, and she nodded, so I take it to be correct. It's basically sort of a Kama Sutra for praying mantises. It outlines different positions and different methods by which praying mantis wives consume their mates and the sort of emotional and psychological significance of these different postures. So I'm just going to read a little bit to you so that you can see what you're missing by not owning this book yet, and you will go out and get it and then read the rest for yourself. Mantis Wives. This is a quote to begin the story. As for the insects, their lives are sustained only by intricate processes of fantastic horror. John Wyndham. Eventually, the mantis women discovered that killing their husbands was not inseparable from the getting of young. Before this, a wife devoured her lover piece by piece during the act of coition, the head and its shining eyes going dim as she ate, the long green prothorax, the forelegs crisp as straws, the bitter wings. She left for last the metathorax and its pumping legs, the abdomen, and finally the phallus. Mantis women needed nutrients for their pregnancies. Their lovers offered this, as well as their seed. It was believed that mantis men would resist their deaths if permitted to choose the manner of their mating, but the women learned to turn elsewhere for nutrients after draining their husbands' members. And yet the men lingered. And so their ladies continued to kill them, but slowly, in the fashioning of difficult arts. What else could there be between them? First position. That's my own addition, not in here. The bitter edge. A wife may cut through her husband's exoskeletal plates, each layer a different pattern, so that to look at a man is to see shining hard brocade. At the deepest level are visible pieces of his core, the hint of internal parts bleeding out. He may suggest shapes. Next position. The eccentric curve of his thoughts. A wife may drill the tiniest hole into her lover's head and insert a fine hair. She presses carefully, striving for specific results. A seizure, a novel pheromone burst, a dance that ends in self-castration. If she replaces the hair with the wasp's narrow, syringing stinger, she may blow air bubbles into his head, and then he will react unpredictably. There is otherwise little he may do that will surprise her, or himself. What is the art of the men? That they remain to die at the hands of their wives. What is the art of the wives? That they kill. Isn't that good?